I'm Kyle. I'm the executive producer for Snap Marketing's internal post-production studio. And today I'll talk to you about the Adobe Suite in conjunction with Frame.io and how that supports the creation and review aspects of our process, which sets us up for efficient and high-quality output on a global scale. So here's a spot from earlier this year. It's about a new product feature giving users the ability to change their usernames. Premiere was used for a couple different phases of that project. We actually got a sequence from the creative team who kind of put together like a rough reference. And at kickoff, we got that sequence, all the elements, transcripts, footage of the interviews. And as soon as we received all of that, our first action was to collect it all and upload it into Frame.io. We use this kind of like a shared server. In this case, everything was collected and uploaded to our O2 media folder by our assist. And from there, our editor downloaded the material locally using the Frame.io transfer app. For live action shoots, we also use Frame to send proxies to remote editors. And sometimes we will also output string outs or dailies from Premiere and compress them down in Media Encoder, and then send those via Frame for creative to review and make selects. You'll notice in the Premiere sequence that the animations are not as fluid as in the output that we just watched, and that's because when the project lives in Premiere, we're focused primarily on timing and content rather than other aesthetic nuances. When the edit is locked, it goes to one of our motion graphics artists who takes existing designs, usually in Illustrator or Photoshop, and imports them into their AE comp for animation. This is when the piece takes on a different level of polish that makes for a more engaging and fluid viewing experience. In this case, I'll place both the picture lock from Premiere and the final render from After Effects in a version stack on Frame and compare versions. The picture lock is to the left, final renders are to the right, and you can see the visual difference between the two side by side. Here's another spot. For this one, we brought design storyboards and UI into After Effects, and this is a lot of the work that we do for in-app because it's so UI focused. We used to let projects like this live entirely in After Effects, but when we would get a bunch of creative changes during the life of the project, it became cumbersome going back between Premiere, After Effects, making edit changes within that. So now what we do is we cut together just static storyboards, and once we picture lock, then we bring all of that into After Effects, and the motion graphics artist animates over it. When animations are finalized for most in-app work, our localization team then recreates the content for a ton of different regions in over 40 languages. To prepare this for localization, we consolidate a project as much as possible. So here's the same spot that you just watched in its final AE project, which is prep for localization. You'll notice the project panel is pretty organized and consolidated. That's because the fewer moving parts leave less room for human error when the localization team is rendering 40 different languages of the spot. And this is called the UI copy comp. So this is all of the copy that lives in the spot. And during the localization process, an artist will go through and translate each of these lines. We've also rigged these sliders to change the size of the buttons behind the text to accommodate language changes. And so once all these tweaks are complete, we render out the final for upload. And at project wrap, all of the project files either get project managed in Premiere or collected in After Effects and uploaded to Frame.io. Processes like this, the localization aspect of it, take a ton of time. And what I'll show in a moment is the result of work done by one of our artists who is highly incentivized to automate as much of the localization process as possible. Using ExtendScript in After Effects, this artist coded a handful of app screens to test out a proof of concept for automation of our UI builds. In this video, what you'll see is fully rigged UI comps built in seconds with a click of a mouse. And once all of the UI comps are built, they are translated with another mouse click. Anytime we show off the functionality of this tool, it just blows the artist's mind on the team. And that's because it's a completely unexpected and new feature that will reduce the time that we need to rig by over 90%. While we've always used the Adobe Suite to actually make the work, combining it with Frame.io unlocked new possibilities. You can track everything, your output increases, and you start to find time for further optimizations like this one. And all this combined allows the team to focus on what's important, being creative and enjoying the process, which I think ultimately leads to better creative work. And that's it. Thanks.